I often think of leadership as a process of empowering a community to better meet its valued objectives, right? It's because part of that's the empowerment part of that is meeting the objectives. A big part is the community, right? Leadership should not just be about the leader qua leader. It's acts you take to support a population of people or perhaps even the full globe. That's what I'm hoping that we are cultivating in people, is a sense of responsibility, not just for the outcome, but also the process. But my aspiration is to model integrity, humanity, vulnerability, to be my best me. That doesn't mean that I can't tweak all of those to be a better me, but to try to bring my truest self to a situation. I don't know if I always get it right. I'm sure I don't. You know, it's one of those things I've wrestled with, right? There are many circumstances or many expectations of leadership to be about having the answers, being clear, being direct, being confident. What if it feels more genuine to be uncertain, to have doubt, to reflect, instead of answers, reflect questions? Like, what if you actually believe that the better leadership is about helping communities ask the right questions, more so than actually even defining the right answers? To me, that resonates much more strongly. We had a tragic shooting at UVA in November. 3 students were killed, 2 others were injured. Many lives were shattered. What's the leadership response to that? Is it to be strong for everybody, or to demonstrate weakness and grief? And what's the balance? I don't have a lot of muscle memory and practice doing that. Hope I never do. Hopefully, it never looks like I know exactly how to handle that situation, because that will mean that I've handled it more often than anyone should. I already feel like I've handled it more than anyone should, and I had it easy. But I do suspect that the leaders that you were trying to cultivate and I'm trying to cultivate, this is their lives. They will have to be dealing with tragedies a lot, at least until we as a nation find a way to reduce their horror. One of the things that we will wrestle with as people who want to cultivate leaders and educate leaders is you're not leading in a vacuum, right? So we've recently had a president who broke lots of rules in this country. And was able to energize large segments of the American population. And if we look at authoritarian leaders worldwide, there are a lot of people out there, a lot of what you might consider followers in a simplistic notion, who respond very favorably to authoritarianism, who respond very much to shows of violence and anger and rage and exclusion, right? That can be a tool that people use to generate and motivate support. Now, I don't support that as a strategy. I think that's actually counterproductive to our survival as a species. So I don't want to encourage that as a method, as a tool. I don't want to teach that, but people do need to be aware of it, right? And the challenge is, how do we counteract that? Right? What are the tools we develop? What are the skills we cultivate so that our future leaders and our aspiring leaders and those who aspire to serve their communities are mobilizing people on the basis of love rather than fear, right? Are mobilizing their communities on the basis of hope and possibility and human flourishing, as opposed to punishment and revenge and marginalization. That's the challenge. That's the leadership I want us to be building. That's as we figure out things to work on together between the Batten School and Yale Law School, it's to create that greater good leader, that humane, compassionate, curious, ethical leader. So I'm really excited by the Tsai Leadership Program and the opportunities it will create for students to explore experiment, discover, figure out a range of new career paths and career options, hopefully to take some risks and to be exposed to many more leaders and many more opportunities of exercising leadership around the globe. And I think particularly for students of color or students from underrepresented backgrounds or students for whom Yale Law School can sometimes feel like a foreign place, I'm hoping Tsai creates a safe community for learning, discovery, exploration. Every student at Yale Law School, regardless of where they come from, has extraordinary potential to shape this world in a very positive way. How will Tsai, along with Yale Law School, but as almost a smaller, nurturing place, particularly around the aspects of leadership within Yale Law School, be a place for those students whose gifts might actually be gifts that Yale Law School hasn't historically valued quite so much. Perhaps it's some of the resilience that they bring, or the personal background that they bring, or their comfort in communities where other Yale Law School students haven't particularly been comfortable. These are in the leadership realm of extraordinary value. Most of the times that are hard, and I'll give an example, are often the flip side of great times, right? So I worked very hard to try to solve a dispute between India and Pakistan related to the Indus Waters Treaty. When I was running my own conflict resolution business, Solomon Global, I was asked by the World Bank to help facilitate an amicable resolution to this dispute between India and Pakistan. I did not succeed. And I think as someone who's been involved with trying to facilitate or mediate disputes, keeping your ego out of it. It's not about you. All you can do is try your best to set the table, to get the parties there, if they'll get there. The mediator doesn't deserve credit for peaceful resolutions. It's the parties that do. And recognizing that, can't change the weather oftentimes. We can prepare for it, we can bring an umbrella, we can, we can be ready for whatever storms may come. And as educators, we can try to teach our students to think hard about what they need to prepare for. But at the end of the day, some of these problems are really, really hard. Don't compare yourself to anybody except the potential you can have in the world. Right? I think I spent some time, like many of us do, in these institutions that attract such extraordinary minds and such extraordinary talents, comparing ourselves to others, wondering whether we're as good as they are at different things. And there are aspects where I felt very proud of myself and thought I did quite well, and other aspects where I knew that I was not quite as accomplished or talented as others, because there's some real amazing talent here. And I often said I was somewhere around average. I'm not sure if I was a little below or a little above, but I wasn't far above, and I don't think I was too far below, but I was somewhere around average here. But even the weakest or the lowest average, the lowest person here in their academic abilities is still a winner of this life lottery that we have, and can still make an enormous positive difference in the world. And if you worry too much about where you rank, you don't realize that you've already won, you're already at the top. And I tell students now, here and at the University of Virginia, 99.9% of the globe would trade places with you in a heartbeat. Why the hell are you complaining about what you don't have? Work with what you've got, because with what you've got, you can change the world.